Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right, today is a beautiful Tuesday episode. Hope you guys enjoy this one. We got a crazy thread for you guys, and I think this thread is going to be pretty interesting. What is your "it's not what it looks like" story? All right, so let's see what you guys have been caught doing and saying it's not what it looks like. All right, so a long while ago, I was walking home from a friend's house. We had been smoking and drinking, so I was a little out of it. It was around 1 a.m., and I was almost home when I saw this little old lady double over and struggling to walk. I asked her if she was okay and if she needed help. She said she was fine, but I asked if I could help her home as she didn't live too far away. So I gave her my arm for her to support herself, and off we went. Her home wasn't that far, but it was slow going at this point. I had already decided that I was going to ring an ambulance for her. Okay. But thought I'd get her home first. When we eventually made it to her home, she took her key and opened her door, only to collapse into her house and pass out. And then the house alarm went off. Oh no! And then her neighbors appeared. Luckily, the neighbors believed me, and the old lady managed to get some medical attention. Yo! Imagine if they didn't believe you, and they're just like, no, you knocked this lady out, and then you're trying to steal her stuff, and you call 911 on this guy. It's like, we have a robber, and they're over here filming you and shit. That would be wild if they didn't believe you. Man, because you're just like, no. And they're like, you smell like alcohol and cigarettes, you hooligan. Damn, man. Oh, dude, that would be crazy. All right, sister went to the bathroom, and I hid under her bed to scare her when she came back in. She came back in only wearing a towel. Turns out she was trying on clothes or something. I yelled loudly, "Hey, I'm under your bed," and I'm coming out with my eyes closed. At first, I thought to stay put and sneak out later, but I figured that would seem way worse when she sees me come out of her room and is like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. It's like, whoa, hold up, man. This was supposed to just be a prank where I scare you. This is not a I see you naked situation. Nah, man, this ain't Alabama. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing, no, we ain't about that. Yeah, man. Like, hey, hold up. I was a lab tech working at a pharmaceutical research lab, and we ran out of pregnancy tests. I went to Walgreens to buy some home tests, and I needed 5 of them. I was about 8 months pregnant. Okay. Wow. Oh man, you needed 5 of them to confirm that? I mean, wouldn't 8 months you would at least be showing? Or like maybe she was one of those that didn't get the morning sickness stuff, because I know some girls, when they get pregnant, they start throwing up and shit like that. Maybe she was one of those that doesn't get, doesn't get that. I don't know. I've never had a partner that was pregnant or anything like that, so I don't know. So maybe you guys let me know in the comments. Maybe that's what it was. She didn't know she was pregnant for 8 months. Is that possible? You know what I mean? Is that a thing? And then why does she need 5 tests? Was it a thing where she couldn't trust one because it was like positive? She's like, nah, maybe the first 2 were just broken. Let me try a 3rd one. I mean, you know what they say, 4th time's the charm. Like, how in the hell you take 5 tests? Okay. All right, man. Damn, that's crazy. A spider in my car got me pulled over for swerving all over the road. We found it, and the cop just laughed at me. I'm not scared of spiders, but that big fucker was dangling in my face. Facts. I don't care if you're not afraid of spiders or you're not afraid of bugs or whatever. If there is a spider or a bug in general dangling in your face while you're driving, yes, you are going to swat that thing and be kind of erratically driving a little bit. Yeah, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, no. I'm not letting that slide. That motherfucker's dying. My personnel clerk was telling me about a sexual harassment issue in my office. As soon as she repeated what was said, "Are you asking me for a BJ?" the store gossip walked around, and sure enough, I'm being spoken to by corporate HR within an hour. Thankfully, I have proof of what was actually going on. Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. He said, "I'm trying to help you. What the fuck is going on here?" They're just like, "Yeah, we need to talk to you. Apparently you asked one of your female coworkers for a blowjob. Like, what is going on here? What happened?" Like, wait, whoa, what? I did what now? No, not me, Charlie. Like, hold on, let me talk to you real quick. Let me talk to you. Like, man, because that ain't nothing to play with right there. All right, let's see. My family and I went to this really weird little festival that happens every spring to celebrate a frozen dead guy. Okay, sure. I wanted to do the polar plunge with my dad, so I used spray hair dye to make myself look a bit gray. And I put on a fake beard so I could look like his mini-me. It was so windy that year that they couldn't keep the warming tents up, so our alternative option was to pack in the back of a 1970s ambulance and try and undress and then redress in warm clothes with 15 other random naked strangers. All right. My dad didn't want to do that, so he decided he would walk up the main street and change in the cafe bathroom. Unfortunately, it was so cold and windy that hypothermia was starting to set in. I had to go into this tiny ass bathroom with my dad to help him get changed. As we were nearly done, some old lady came barging in the bathroom because we were taking way too long, and at that very moment I realized I had fucked up. My dad was standing up and I was on my knees trying to button up his jeans. Oh, and it just, yeah. She had the look of horror on her face, and the only thing I could blurt out was, "No, it's okay, he's my dad." That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it any better. That makes it worse, if anything. Like, you look like, you was about to suck him off, and the old lady's like, "Oh my God, no, it's my dad." That's worse. Oh man. See, this is why you don't be barging in on people in the bathroom, man. You don't barge in on people in the bathroom, man. You mind your own business. Mind your own business. Oh, come on, man. Oh my God. All right. Owned a horse as a kid. Partner went with me a couple months back to visit him at the stable he lived in to visit him. Said horse has a habit of nipping, not out of aggression, but to show affection or play. Horse was nuzzling his head onto my chest and a bit right of my tit, gently pushing his head away, but that shit hurt. Went home with partner and was getting undressed for some quality time. He took a look at me and went, "What's that?" I looked down and there was a giant forming bruise/bite from where the horse nipped me. I quickly explained, but he found it hilarious. At least he believed you, because that could have been bad. Like, who's sucking on your titties? Huh? Like, girl. Like, who the fuck sucking on your titties? Because, you know what I mean? That's my job. Like, what do you mean? At least he believed you. He thought it was funny, because, man, that could have been all bad. All right. A student athlete in high school, and our athletic trainer was an attractive 24-year-old girl. I had a hip injury that required an ACE wrap around my hip joint. One day, she was wrapping my hip before practice in a side office of a bigger training room, and two other athletes opened the door that we had forgot to lock. What they saw was the back of me with my pants down and the trainer in front of me on her knees with her head in my crotch area and her hand reaching around back grabbing my butt. Her head was only there for a brief second while she supported herself, but teenage boys only need to see that image for a fraction of a second for them to imagine something else. They were just like, yo, dog, how was it? How was it? Yeah, dog. And he's like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? He was just like, yo, dog, you and her in the training room, man. Come on, we saw what happened, man. It's called good. You can, come on, man. Give me some. No, what? Come on, man. Why you hating? Come on, man. Hey, is there any chance I can get some? Like, they were on his ass, bro. They were on his ass about that. They were like, come on, man. Hey, can I get some at least? Damn. Oh, shit. I worked on a low-budget movie that never got finished. For one scene, we needed scenes from the crime, glory, bloody pictures they would put up on the board in the police office. Dumbass I worked with dropped them off at Walmart for printing and enlargement. Back when that was a thing, he did not warn them. When we went to pick them up, he got pounced on by a police and had much explaining to do. Oh, that would suck. Also, same guy, I had made 2 corpses from skeletons using the old tissue paper and latex method. Some genius just tosses them into the back of his pickup truck to take them to the set, got pulled over for speeding. They pretty much were pulling him out of the driver's side window while he was screaming, "They aren't real people!" over and over again. When they finally touched one and realized it was plastic, they let him go while ticketing him for everything they could because they were pissed. Personally, I was thrilled my work wasn't taken so well. I mean, it must have been that good. Like, if the pictures were good enough for homeboy to almost get arrested, and then for these fake corpses to be so good that Mans is getting pulled out of the truck by the window. Like, they're not even trying to open the door. They're like, nah, get this motherfucker out of here. That's crazy. Your work must be really good. But, man, you out here fucking up people's lives. I'd be like, I ain't running errands for that motherfucker no more. Like, I'm getting in trouble too much. Man, I ain't running errands for him no more. I worked in a supermarket when I was younger, and my boss found me one day lying on my stomach in the aisle with my arm fully outstretched holding a large jar of pickles. This was long before planking, but he still thought was someone being done for the lulz, okay? And started chewing me out, and before a customer intervened and explained the situation. The fact of the matter was, I was walking down the aisle when out of nowhere, the jar just slipped off the shelf and I dove and caught it. The lady saved my ass that day, and the clerk who was ringing her up got our secret signal, which meant many items were accidentally not scanned. Oh, man. If I'm being honest with you, my guy, I would have let that shit fall. Hey, man, I don't get paid enough to be out here diving to save shit. That's crazy. Because, I mean, at the same time, it's like, what if you would have missed? And then you just got glass and pickle juice all over you. That would suck, man. And the lady's just standing there like, damn, you might as well get a cleanup now, I'm just saying. According to my mom, she peeked through my open door and saw me in my chair, hands at waist level, shaking a bit as I worked my hands and was breathing heavily. I was playing Spider-Man 2 Fighting Scream. He was like, no, Mom, I swear to God, I was playing Spider-Man, okay? I was playing Spider-Man. I was fighting, okay? I had to hit the buttons, you know what I mean? I was breathing heavy. It was an intense fight. Come on. What are we doing? I died a lot of times, okay? Damn. She was just like, I guess my son just likes beating his meat to Spider-Man. Oh. Me male watching American History with my male roommate right when the shower grape stuff was happening. My friend opened the apartment door, said, and quickly left. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Working at a construction job site, plug in my battery charger, an open outlet at generator. Roofer comes down and yells at me for unplugging his compressor. I go about working and notice his plug for the compressor has fallen out of the outlet by itself. I pick up his plug, and before I can plug it in, he comes around the corner and says, "Aha! Caught you. Guy wanted to fight me." He was like, "Hey, yo, man." He's like, why is my compressor he was like, "Why is my compressor unplugged, man? What the heck is going on?" He follows his cord, and then just at the right moment, he's just like, this I gotta plug in. He's like, "Aha!" He's like, "No, wait, no. I was plugging it in." It was like, "Yeah, okay. Yeah, you trying to fuck with me, man?" He's like, "No, I'm gonna throw him up, man. Throw him up." Like, All right. Found my then girlfriend's underwear in the laundry at my house and packed them in my book bag to give back to her. Brought them with me the next time I visited, and of course, they weren't hers. Uh-oh. Thing is, I didn't cheat, and they definitely didn't fit anyone else I would have known in my recent memory. We weren't exclusive more than a couple of weeks at that point. She kind of just hit me with the palm face and an eye roll, and we never talked about it again / laughed off the moment. I still don't know where those damn underwear came from or if they were planted. Okay. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, it could have been planted. You never know. Because if it was planted, man, you got some explaining to do. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, who would have planted it? Maybe she would have. She might have just been like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go like buy some chonies that aren't my size, and then I'm gonna just like leave him there and see what he does," But I think the fact that he had brought them to her, made it seem like, oh, okay, he's a good one. He's a good one. You never know. She could have been testing him. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm surprised no one called the police on me for this. I do general repairs as a side gig. I offered to help a friend fix his sink one day, so I park my work van on the street outside his house and start organizing tools to bring into the house. Suddenly, I look up and I see his 3-year-old daughter has somehow wandered out of the house and is walking in the middle of the road. Yikes. So I quickly run after her, grab her off the road. However, I couldn't bring her into the house just yet because my van was still completely open with tools strung about, so I had to put her in my van while I finished organizing. To anyone else, it probably looked like I kidnapped a girl in my van. Facts. And it's just like, no. I'm just like, I'm doing something. I just needed her out of the way. Like, and they're like, likely story, motherfucker. Like, hey. At least nobody, hopefully the girl was old enough to be able to talk and be like, no, it's fine. Like, I was going to get ran over. He saved me. You know what I mean? And then he just let me sit in his van for a little bit. And that was that. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully she was able to talk and kind of, be able to defend you a little bit, because with the way things are going in today's world, it's like they're catching, child offenders and shit like that on streams now. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen that? That to me is crazy that it's this prevalent, to where people are doing it on a live stream. They're able to just like set this up within a day, within a couple days, they're able to set this shit up and actually live stream it to people, and just, keeping people aware. I don't think it's a bad thing that they're live streaming it. I just think how crazy it is that there are people who are just out there doing that. So it's understandable, you know what I mean, how that could have looked with his situation. But as long as the little girl was just like, no, it's all good. Like, he didn't try to do nothing. He actually saved me from getting run over and, you know, whatever. He explained it to me. Yeah. Woo. I was staying over at a friend's cottage in the country with my girlfriend, now wife. A bunch of friends were there as well, male and female, but we got the spare room because we were a couple. We all went to bed. After about 20 minutes, the bed we were in collapsed, made a terrible clatter. Instantly, the whole house erupted in cheers and laughter. So what, they thought that you guys were like smashing so hard that it broke the bed? I bet all the dudes were just like, hey, yo, man, you was laying down that mushroom tip a little too much, huh? They're like, damn. They're like, hey, yo, girl, can you walk? You good? I mean, I guess that's a good misunderstanding. If I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have said that the bed was rickety or, you know, the bed was crappy or nothing. I'd have been like, yeah, I put it down like that. That's me, yeah. Stroke game was so good it broke the bed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Oh, man. My mom once barged on my room without knocking with a shocked face and asked, "What are you doing?" I was laying in bed, laptop on my belly, chocolate on my mouth, watching YouTube exercise videos. They kept making noise she assumed was either sex or porn. To this day, we laugh so hard about it. What? Like, that is probably some of the fattest shit I've ever heard. I got chocolate on my stomach and around my mouth, and I'm watching exercise videos. Like, wait, what? I wouldn't have believed it either. I'd have been like, you ain't watching no exercise videos. Get the fuck out of here. You got chocolate around your mouth and on your stomach. Like, come on, man. You wasn't watching no exercise videos. Come on, man. I don't know about all that one. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to do 4 more. When I was a teen, I went on a road trip about 6 hours away to meet some friends. I brought a female friend with me because it sounded fun. We arrived to the mutual friend's house and they show us our room with a single bed. I was mortified, and as they left us alone, I told the girl that this wasn't my plan and I'll see if I can find a couch or something. Thankfully, she was cool with non-sexually sharing a bed. I awake in the middle of the night with a pretty severe asthma attack. My inhaler is on the nightstand on the other side of her. The rest of the room is covered in various boxes, making a walk around the bed time consuming and dangerous. So I get a bit closer and reach over her carefully to grab the inhaler. My hands are shaky and I knock it to the floor, and I realize I have to climb over her to grab it. I sit up, throw one leg over, and reach down, grabbing my inhaler and taking it. I smile in relief, look down, and I've woken her up in the middle of the night by straddling her. She just closed her eyes and went back to sleep. I mean, I'm glad that she didn't make a scene out of it and think that it was, you know, you trying to make a move in the middle of the night, like, you know, I'm glad that she was just like, let me just, you know, it was probably a thing where, like, when he was on top of her, he like showed her the inhaler and was just like, yeah, like, I'm just grabbing this. And then she's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna go back to bed. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a thing where he was just like locking eyes with her and they were just deer in headlights. Because I think if it was in that moment, she probably would have thought something was like trying to go down, you know, and would have been just like, what are you doing? You know, but I think he was just like, inhaler, you know, over here dying. So, but yeah, I can see how that one could get tough. All right, back in the 7th grade, when I was at peak awkward teen boy age, there came a day in the gym where we set to play volleyball. The only problem was that when we got to the gym, the coach realized she'd forgotten the volleyballs. But no problem, because they were just sitting in the storage room in the girls' locker room, and she decided to send me, a boy, to go get them. She assured me that I would not get in trouble if I was caught, but even still, I was about to not at all be thrilled over being given this job as I possibly could be, because I was sure that if any girl saw me in there, she would tell the rest of the school that I was a pervert sneaking into the girls' locker room. Well, halfway through the mission, my worst nightmare came true, and I turned the corner to confront two girls who were heading back into the locker room. They stared at me. I stared at them. I started panicking, and in my discombobulation, I decided the best possible thing to do at that moment would be to tell these two girls that I am not a pervert, because obviously that would have cleared everything up. But I was so flustered that what came out instead was, "I'm not gay." Oh, and then I really smoothed things over by running away. This nigga said, "I'm not gay," and then ran away. Like, what? What the hell? Surprisingly, the fallout for this wasn't too bad. I got made fun of for a bit, but people had pretty much moved on by the next day. Not me, though. 27 years later, this still haunts me, man. Hey, yo. If I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't expect anything less, man. It's just, you don't know what to say in that moment. Of course, you look at it, hindsight is 2020. You look at it now and you're just like, yeah, I probably should have told the girls, "Oh, hey, I'm here to actually get the volleyballs for the, gym teacher. Do you know where they happen to be?" You know what I mean? She sent me to go get them, whatever the case. And that would have smoothed it over, because they'd have been like, "Oh, yeah, they're just over there." And you'd have been like, "All right, cool, thanks." And you would have grabbed the volleyballs, and then you could have just left, and the girls probably would have just been like, "Oh, all right, well, I guess he was just here to get the volleyballs." But you made it all weird, and it's understandable. Again, you're a kid in that kind of situation. You're not thinking about that. You're just like, not gay. I still think that is so funny, because it's like, dude, what? Why would a guy being in the girls thing? I guess because it's like only a gay dude would walk in there. I don't know. Oh, being a kid is crazy. Oh, all right, we got two more. When I was a teen, my bud and I got invited to dinner. Midway through the meal, these old men had every Wednesday at one's pawn's house. Okay. So we're all eating, and the old men are talking about some trial that's been of interest in the community and circumstance evidence. Oni, old man, tells me this story. "When I was 13, 14, we had a couple of milk cows. One morning, Dad and me went down to the milk the cows. We'd about finished up, and I had to piss real bad, so I walked out and around the side of the barn. As I was pissing, one of the calves walked right past me, and I, just on the spur of the moment, grabbed it by the tail. That pulled me off balance. I was stumbling behind the calf with one hand holding it by the tail and one holding my dick in the other, trying not to piss on myself. When Pop walks around the corner, he doesn't say anything, just turns around and walks back around the other corner. Now, my dad went to his grave believing I was trying to fuck that damn calf. And I'll never convict anyone on circumstantial evidence ever in my... Oh my God. That's gotta be crazy. He was like, "God damn it, boy." He's like, "What are you trying to do, man? You can't stick your thing in that." And he's just like, "No, not Pop. No, that's not what was going on." He was like, "Well, that's what it looked like." Yeah, that's show damn what it looked like. And you ever try to do that shit again, I'm going to whoop that behind. It's like, I didn't try to do it. So he's like, I'll never convict somebody on some circumstances. I ain't ever living that down. Man, that's a good ass story though. You know? All right. Did I say 2 more? I think so. All right, we'll do this one and 1 more. All right, my dog ate some string. I had to pull it out of his butt on a walk. People were like, yikes, and giving me a wide berth. And hold on. People were like, yikes, and giving me a wide berth? What? Okay. Maybe you meant to say weird look, but okay, I don't know. I mean, you pulling anything out of your dog's butt, it's like, oh. I think dog owners would be the only one that would understand some shit like that, because, you know, your dog gets into the floss and then they start scooting their booties on the carpet, and you're like, God damn it, man, you got to pull something out of there. I think only dog owners would really know. All right, last one. In Mexico City on a high school trip, I went to sleep alone and woke up with one of the girls from the trip. She looked confused. I looked confused. We both clarified that we did not, in fact, do it. This was me confirming for her. What we decided was that she got super drunk the night before, came into our room instead of hers, and got into bed with me thinking I was her sister. I mean, you might have. You never know. Like, she could have just slid in there and just been like, oh, wait, what is this? Oh, man, oh, must be fun. I don't know, man. You know, if you're waking up feeling light and energized, like, oh, well, hello. Yeah, I'm just saying. Hey, could be, could not. But that's going to go ahead and be that thread for me for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that thread. Man, absolute wild thread. The shit that you guys get into and these crazy little situations you gotta get caught in. My goodness. I don't think I've ever had a situation where it's like, oh, it's not what it looks like. I probably have, but maybe I don't remember. I don't know. But my goodness, the threads have been getting juicier and juicier as the weeks have been going by. And that is thanks to a lot of you guys, especially on TikTok. You guys like to send me little threads and stuff like that because most of my clips are usually threads. And so, you know, you guys, oh, check this thread out, check this thread out, check this thread out. So I have you guys to thank for all these juicy ass threads. So thank you guys so much for all of that. I'm hopping to announcements super duper fast, get those out the way like I always do. And then we're going to hop into today's scenarios. So patreon.com/MileyAsshole Podcast. You want to get an exclusive episode every single Friday and access to over 8, almost 9 months of extra content that you have not seen or watched. Get over there on Patreon and check that out, man. There's so much content over there. I hope you guys enjoy all that content. And then if you're a primarily audio listener, keep downloading the podcast. It shows me that you guys are coming back every Tuesday, Thursday, as well as Sunday for these episodes, and you guys are loving what we're doing over here. If you can, please rate the podcast 5 stars. It helps get new people in here, and it helps us keep the show going, man. It recommends the show to more people, and you know, I love that. I love when you guys rate, and I see when, you know, the rating is able to go up and all that good stuff. It's awesome. If you want to support us even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, as well as Instagram. YouTube if you want to get like the video side of the podcast, and then TikTok and Instagram if you want to get the clips. I always do clips. I do at least one clip from each episode, so you guys can get that. I always say follow on Instagram and TikTok because sometimes Instagram has clips that TikTok just won't allow on their platform, and it is what it is. You know, TikTok's kind of whack, but hey, it is what it is. You know, who cares? But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our scenarios. That's all the announcements I have for today. I try to make that fast because that's usually you guys' least favorite part of the show. And yeah, you know, I'm just trying to keep this entertaining for you guys. So let's get right into it. Am I wrong for wanting to cut this girl off? Let's see. I don't know where else to post this, but I need advice from people who don't know me. All right, well, we don't know you, man. Let's get into it. Basically, I met this girl, let's call her Sarah, maybe 6 days ago on a dating app. We hit it off pretty much instantly. We had the same intentions. We had good flow in conversation. We both communicated our preferences, etc. It was just a nice conversation. She moved into a new apartment she moved into a new apartment and was afraid to stay there alone the first night, which I understood, and asked me to come stay with her. Oh shit. This was the second day we knew each other, but based on the vibes and the intention, I was willing to go. So I went. I did not bring a condom because I really wanted to be wholesome and not expect sex. The vibe was so great when I got there that eventually, maybe at 1 a.m., we did the sex. We fell asleep and did it again in the morning. I left at 1 p.m. the next day, and I was feeling great. And them balls were drained. He was like, oh, fantastic. Long story short, from that night on, she has barely texted back. Left me undelivered for 9 hours plus, but claims to be very busy. We were supposed to hang out the next Monday, but she flaked out without actually verbally telling me she couldn't make it. I regret the sex immensely and the whole night in general now, and I'm wondering, am I overreacting or wrong for being pissed? Either that, okay. You did say that you guys had the same intentions and communicated your preferences and etc. But maybe it was a thing where the dick game wasn't that good. If I'm being honest with you, that might be what happened. What I'm getting from everything is that the conversation was on point. Everything was great. I think she looked at it like, you know what? This guy is great, but I'm not going to wait to have sex with him. I'm going to get that out the way. I'm going to see if we're sexually compatible. I think the first time you guys had sex at that 1 a.m., she maybe wasn't about it. She was like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't really all that, but I'm going to go to bed, whatever. And then she thought to herself, man, he's such a good guy. I'm going to give him a second shot. So then you smashed again in the morning. And I think she was just like, yeah, you know what? We're just not sexually compatible. Like, he's got everything else going for him, but I just don't think we're sexually compatible. And I really think that that's where this flaky behavior is coming from. I just think that she doesn't think that you guys are sexually compatible. I think she enjoys you in every other aspect. I think she looks at it like, man, he's a great conversationalist. You know, we have the same intentions, all this, all that. I find him, you know, very attractive, so on and so forth. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't have sex with you. And so I think in every other component, you check them boxes great. But the dick game just wasn't there for her. And she even gave you a second shot, if I'm being honest with you. She looked at it like, the first time, you know, wasn't all that. Maybe he had a little performance anxiety. Maybe, you know, he came too fast. You know what I mean? It's the first time that type of shit happens. So then she gave you a second shot and was just like, that persisted. Now, should she have communicated something like that? If it was that, 100%. But I just think that she probably wouldn't communicate something like that because, you know, she doesn't want to have that awkward conversation. So maybe she looks at it like, oh, well, you know, ghosting him could be better. You know what I mean? Because then he could just kind of get the hint and we can just kind of move on, which I think is a shitty way to go about it. And I'm sure you guys would agree with me on that. It's like, look, you know, if you're not feeling me anymore, go ahead and just tell me. So that way I'm not sitting here thinking this, you know, where I'm thinking like, what the fuck is going on? What happened? What did I do? But yeah, I just think on her end, I think she feels like you guys aren't sexually compatible. That's all I can really get from the information that he's given me. It's just like, you guys had great chemistry. Everything was going smooth. She invited you over to the crib. You know, you guys did your thing. And then the fact that, you know, she did it again, I think in your mind, the fact that you guys had sex twice, you were just like, whoa, it must have been that good for her. But I think for her, it was like, it wasn't that good the first time. Let me give him a second shot and see if he'll be better, you know? And it sucks. It's tough, but again, I don't know. It could be something different. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. It could be something different. It could be. But that's what I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking she looks at it like you guys aren't sexually compatible. But again, you let me know. All right. Next one. Am I the asshole for dumping my boyfriend after I overheard what he said about me? Ooh. What do you say about you, girl? On Friday, my boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 23 female, attended a mutual friend themed party. We had a good time, and the night went by without any problems. I spent most of the time with my female friends, and my boyfriend was hanging out with his buddies. Towards the end, I went outside to chat with someone and then went back in to look for my boyfriend, whom I hadn't seen in a while. I walked past the guest room and immediately heard my boyfriend talking to his best friend. I could tell they were talking about me, so yes, I stopped and listened out of sheer curiosity, like, ooh, what is he gonna say about me? Whether you want to debate the ethics of that is up to you. For context, we've been friends since they were kids. Okay, hold on. They've been friends since they were kids. Okay. So they talk to each other pretty much, they talk to each other pretty openly. I started dating my boyfriend last year and have known his friend for the same amount of time. His friend was telling my boyfriend that he's lucky to have me and that I'm a real catch. He even said that I have many admirable qualities and jokingly asked my boyfriend how he managed to bag me. My boyfriend, in a very serious tone, said that he's the catch in the relationship and that I'm always trying to please him. He said, with pretty girls, you have to make sure she's insecure. When they're confident, it's not going to work. Then he explained that I don't realize how objectively attractive I am due to my raging insecurities about every little detail. I was left speechless and deeply shocked. His friend was quiet and then said, "That's fucked up." My boyfriend laughed and kept saying they both know it's true and to quit virtue signaling. At the end, his friend said that if I'm insecure, I do a great job of hiding it because he views me as a confident and assertive. Boyfriend laughed and said, "Nah, bro, she's insecure. It's crazy." Then he grossly said that sex with insecure hot chicks is the best because they'll do anything to please you. I didn't knock on the door. I didn't walk in. Later, we went home and I didn't bring it up. I broke up with him via text the next day. I explained why I made that decision. Now my friends think I'm crazy for jumping to that decision so fast. They all said that I hit him with a breakup out of nowhere and didn't even give him a chance to explain himself and gave context. I said that his words shattered my heart and no amount of context will salvage this. The only people who don't think I'm an asshole are my closest female friends and his best friend. His best friend trying to fuck. I don't know. They both feel bad for me and said I did the right thing. So, am I the asshole for doing what I did, or is it justified? I don't think... I mean, maybe that's just him. Maybe he thinks insecurity is sexy or whatever, or he may like that in a girl. Maybe you think that's a manipulation tactic. I don't know. Sure, I do believe that your girl should like you more than you like her. I do think that is a component of a relationship that actually needs to happen, just because if we're being honest with you, girls have a lot more options than guys, especially nowadays. And so when your girl feels like she got the absolute best guy that she could possibly get, well, she doesn't really go looking into those options. And that's kind of why I think that your girl does have to like you more than you like her. But I definitely don't think that's an insecurity if your girl likes you more than you like her. That is not an insecurity at all. That just lets you know that your girl feels like she got the best option. She's like, there is no guy that compares to him. And I think that's a secure trait, if I'm being honest with you. If you're a woman and you look at your man as if that is the best I can possibly get. That is the best man for me. I think that's a completely secure trait because you knew what you wanted, you got what you wanted, and you're happy with what you got. You don't need more. You're not looking at the grass is greener. You're not thinking what could be. You're not trying to experiment or any of that bullshit. That's a secure trait. You found your partner and you're like, that is the person I'm going to stick with. I do not in any way, shape, or form think that a girl liking her man more than her man liking her is insecure. Fuck no. Because women need that. Women want the best guy they can possibly get. And when they feel like they have that with a guy, that is the most securest trait you could ever have as a woman. 100%. Why? Because you ain't going nowhere. And he ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. He ain't going nowhere by default. And when she feels like she's got the best man possible, she ain't going nowhere. She's like, she looks at other guys and she's just like, ha, you couldn't compare to my man at all, you know? And that's just the way that goes. But back to this, I think he's right in that situation of, you know, it is great when your girl likes you more than you like her, because of the reasons I just stated. But the fact that he kind of looks at it like it's an insecurity and, oh, I love insecure girls and stuff like that, I personally think that's kind of fucked up. It's like, dude, you know, why would you want someone who is insecure? You know what I mean? Like, why would you want that? Why would you want somebody that, if anything, an insecure person, and I don't think she is insecure. I think he's just perceiving it as that. So that way, you know, maybe he feels like he has some false power over her, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But personally, I truly think that he enjoys, you know, maybe the manipulation side of it, I'm guessing, where he's just like, oh yeah, I can tell her certain things and, you know, she'll just do it. You know what I mean? And it's, again, if you have a girl who is in that mindset of like, this is the best possible man, you know, this for me, you're automatically going to get that type of treatment from her. You know what I mean? You ask her to do something and she just does it. You're going to automatically get that kind of treatment. The reason being is because, again, she feels like she's got the best possible man for her. So she's like, I ain't going nowhere. And that's my man. He says, do something, I'm going to do it. You know, you'll get that just right off the rip. I think maybe he's misconstruing his girl's security for insecureness. I think that is truly what's going on. Again, like I said, it could be a thing where he enjoys the manipulation side of it all. That could be a possibility. 100%. I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm not saying that it's not. It could be. But personally, for me, I think he's just misconstruing his girl's security. You know, she is secure with this guy. She looks at it like, that is my man. That is the best man for me. So yeah, when he says to do something, I'm going to do it. When, you know, I'm going to do the most to please him because I want to keep my man. I don't want him going anywhere. I don't want him looking at other bitches. I don't want him thinking like, oh, you know, my girl doesn't do this, but you know, Tiffany does it. You know, she's secure with her man. I don't think she's insecure at all. I think she's secure because she's like, that man is the best possible guy for me, and I ain't gonna do nothing to fuck it up. But I think he's misconstruing it as like, oh man, it's insecurity, man. I love a girl who's insecure because then I can just get her to do whatever I want. And it's like, I don't think that's what it is. Yeah, I don't think that's what it is, my guy. But I think he's just twisting it into something. You know what I mean? And like I said, that's what's kind of giving him that false idea of like, yeah, I have this power over her, blah 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 blah. You know, and it's like, damn, that kind of sucks. I think she's warranted for breaking up with him though, just because he would continue that mindset. And then it would probably put her in some precarious situations, you know what I mean? In situations where she doesn't feel comfortable in or doesn't want to really be in. And that would have been even tougher if she stayed with him, because then they would have gotten into tougher situations. I don't know. Again, you let me know. Do you think it's just he enjoys the controlling aspect of it? Is he misconstruing her security? You know what I mean? Or is it just a thing where, I don't know, he's just a jerk and an asshole. I don't know. You let me know. You let me know what you think about that one. Like I said, I think he's just misconstruing her security in that relationship as insecureness. And you know what I mean? And he's probably trying to use that as a weakness or something like that. But yeah, I don't think she's the asshole for breaking up with him. I think it's justified because he would have put her in precarious situations because he knows that he can. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, let me fuck other bitches, or let me do this, let me do that. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see. This is going to be our last one for today. Cheating husband comes out as gay and then tries to steal my baby. Okay. All right. Man, that's crazy. I've been saying this for the past couple of episodes, man. There is a lot of dudes who be with a girl for like years. They'll be with a girl for a while and then they come out as gay, and it's just like, what? It's like, what? Then why are you with this girl for so long? You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like, you know, you're between the ages of like 18 and 22 or something like that. You know what I mean? Because in those years, I feel like you're really trying to figure things out and, you know, who you want to be and what do you want to do in life. You know what I mean? Because you're going to college around that time. So, you know, college, you maybe experiment a little bit, you know, girls, you know, kiss on some girls, dudes kiss on some dudes or whatever. They you know, it's experimental. You're really trying to figure yourself out. But then you have these people who are way into their later years and they're coming out as this, but it's like they've had a wife for a couple years, or they've been with a girl for 5+ years or something like that. And then it's just like the girl is like, wait, blindsided by this. Like, wait, what? You were gay the whole time? Like, so like, you don't find me sexually attractive. You do, you don't. Like, that would be just so confusing, especially. And I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of the girl. That, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to do. It's like, imagine you're with a guy for a couple years. It could be 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. And then out of nowhere, your man's comes out of nowhere and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gay. And you're just like, wait, so you like both? No. I just like dudes. And you're just like, what? So wait, but we'd have the sex. What do you mean? He was like, oh yeah, I just get through it. And you're just like, get through it. You know what I mean? Because like, imagine you're thinking like, oh yeah, my man's smashing me. Like, yeah, I must be really attractive. And then he's over here telling you you're not. He finds your vagina disgusting or something. I don't know. Like, I would try to put myself in that position because I'm just like, it's happened so many times. I don't know. I'm rambling. Let's get into the situation. Sorry. All right. I, 27 female, have been with my boyfriend, Mike, fake name, also 27, since our junior year in high school. God damn, they've been together for some years. This has been at least 10 years. God damn. We were supposed to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. Facts, told you. At least 10 years, 6 months ago. But since then, our entire life has fallen apart. The night of our anniversary, we were supposed to meet at the restaurant where we had our first real date forever ago. This was hard to plan as we now live 2 hours away from the town we grew up in, and we both have crazy work schedules. The day of, he tells me he has a special surprise for me and to go out there on my own and visit my family, and he'll meet me at the restaurant at our set time. I want to say we both agreed to never get married, so I knew a proposal wasn't on the table, as my family and I am sure most of you are thinking. Yeah, because I would think that too. Anyways, I was excited about this and I had my own exciting news at the time. I had just found out I was pregnant and planned to tell my boyfriend that night. Oh no. I visited with my family and told my mother and brother I was expecting, but not to tell Mike because I was going to tell him that evening. We were also excited. I get to the restaurant on time and I'm wearing a dress I bought just for the occasion. I sit there for an hour before leaving. At first, I thought he was running late with the surprise, and then I started to become worried and he wasn't answering his text, so I decided to head home and see if everything was okay. When I returned home, everything of his was gone. His clothes, his posters, his portions of everything except the furniture and his car. My name is on the title because he had bad credit. On our bed is pages and pages handwritten by him. I'll spare you the details, but apparently his childhood best friend, who I'll call Carl, started renting our furnished basement a few months prior, and it was all right. Carl was never a burden, always helpful with chores and cooking, and I had never had a reason not to want him in my home as far as I was concerned. He was family, and he said the feeling was mutual. The letter read that Mike and Carl were in love and running away together to escape their bigoted families. And because Mike couldn't live this lie anymore, as much as I hate it, I respect it. I have many gay friends, and I know how hard it is for many. I mean, watch Why Women Kill and pay a close attention to the 1980s couple. Naturally, I was devastated, but knew there wasn't much I could do other than allow myself to mourn my partner and I's relationship, because for me, I was in love, and now you're pregnant. And he just ran off into the sunset with some dude. I mean, not some dude, but at the same time, some dude, you know? Knowing that it wasn't my fault, it was just something I couldn't control, helped a little bit. My family called many times that night to see how the dinner went because they wanted to know how he reacted to the news of me being pregnant, and they don't understand our no marriage deal and were always hoping he'd buck up. But I ignored all calls. The next morning, I was woke up by pounding on the door, and to my shock, it was Mike and Carl. I allowed them inside and asked if they'd forgotten any of their things, and asked if there was anything anything to split they'd like to talk about taking, as there were a few things around I figured should go to them, such as of the furniture sets from the living room. Or the basement where Carl was previously staying, as I imagine they were in a new apartment and needed things. What happened next shocked me. Mike cut me off with a hand up and asked, how far along was I? How did he find out? I asked who told him, and he said it doesn't matter how he knows, just that he knows and that he wants to be a part of the child's life. I said, of course, I planned on involving him, as it was his child too, after all. He then stated that he and Carl wanted to stay in the basement apartment until I gave birth, and at which point he and Carl would be moving upstairs and I could have the basement until I found a better place. I asked why in his right mind I should give them my home, and they said so that they could raise their baby together without his past there to ruin it. But, I mean, you got to think about it for her, bro. She's got to see you be happy with Carl the whole time. You know, while she's like sad and miserable, like that would be agonizing. I mean, sure, it's with a dude. It's not like it's with another girl, but that's still agonizing, man. That would still hurt to some degree, to where you're just thinking to yourself like, man, like that's my man. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I laughed out loud, which really pissed him off. He said, I know they can't have kids together, and they at least, hold on, together, and that the least I could do for stealing the last 10 years of his life was to give him a baby, since I could always just go have another one. I was appalled by this and said I sympathize that they can't have their own child together, but that gives him no right to take mine from me. And that I could say he stole the last 10 years of my life too, but I actually loved and planned a future with him. Meanwhile, all he did was lie when he could have left amicably sooner and saved us both the trouble. Facts. And see, that's what I mean though. It's like you're with somebody for so long and then they come out as homosexual and you're just like stunned. You're just lost. You're like, what? So you never found me attractive. You never found me like sexually appealing. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything that you were feeling, you're just feeling like so secure in the relationship. Like, oh man, my man loved me. He think I'm sexy, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Then he comes out as gay and you're just like, wait, what? You never found me attractive. You never thought I was this, that, like, what? Like it's just a huge shock. And the fact that he sat there and was like, you wasted 10 years of my life, like, that's a big red flag. That's just crazy. Who would do that? Let's see. I didn't force him to do anything, and he's out of his mind for thinking I owe him my child. Carl hadn't said anything until the end, where he told Mike I was right and dragged him out. Carl sent me a apology later that night, radio silence for a week, and I thought it was over until my first OBGYN appointment, where I was told that I had a chemical pregnancy and the egg never fully attached. So I was no longer pregnant. Oh shit. This hurt, but was honestly a relief, because now I wouldn't have to do custody with my ex, who I never wanted to see again. I told only my mother and brother. Mike showed up same day screaming and pounding on the door, insisting I aborted the child just so he couldn't have it. Wow. He said, no, you killed the baby so I couldn't have it. I know what you're doing. Wow. At one point, he tried kicking down the door, so I called Carl to come get him. Surprisingly, Carl showed up with the police and had Mike arrested. Carl stayed until after they all left, to which point I spoke through the door. He said he's sorry for everything he's done to me, and he's sorry I lost my baby. We ended up talking for a while before he said that Mike isn't the same man anymore, and he's very verbally and physically abusive lately, and uses the excuse that he can finally take his anger out properly, since Carl is a man and can take it. So the whole time he was just like, man, I wish I could fucking hit you, but since you're a woman, I'm not gonna do it. But now that he's with Carl, he's like, well, you're a man, so I can beat the shit out of you when I don't like what you're doing, and so on and so forth. Wow. He told me he got a restraining order pending and I should get one too. That's the last time I heard from either of them. Wow. That is a story. Man, like, not only did she lose a partner of 10 years, but she lost her baby. Homeboy was just turned out to be the worst man possible. And then homeboy is just like, yeah, you should get a restraining order on this and that, because he's coming up here and banging on the door and you killed my baby, you bitch. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I mean, so much to the point where homeboy got arrested and has a restraining order, from his lover. Like, man, that is some wild shit. Wow, that's a crazy story. Oh my goodness. Like you think it went from just bad to worse to just absolutely insane. insane. My God. You guys let me know what you think about that that story in the comments, man. If you got this far in the video, thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of the support you guys have been showing, man. Downloading the podcast as well as watching it, rating it 5 stars, all that good stuff, man. But that's going to do it for me today on this beautiful Tuesday episode. I love you guys so much for all the support. Again, patreon.com/MileyAsshole podcast. Get on there to get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios like these people did today, and to be featured on Sunday's episodes, man. Court of Thorns and Roses is actually getting pretty good. You know, I'm excited to see where the story is going. You know, it seems like a little bit of love is brewing, you know what I mean? So we're going to see what's going on with that on Thursday. So get with me on Thursday and we'll check that out. If you are an audio listener, keep downloading as well as rating the podcast 5 stars if you haven't already. If you want to help us on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram for all the clips. And that's going to be it for me. I love you guys all. I'll see you on Thursday for a Court of Thorns and Roses episode. And peace.